Welcome to the Creation Grounds podcast, where we break down the success, habits, and the life of people in creative fields, discover how they've gotten to where they are, what they aspire to be, and how you can live your dreams too. Let's get to the show. Lawrence Floyd, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just jump right into it, man. So where did it all start for you? Tell us where it began. Where you're from.
I am originally from North Carolina.
North Carolina?
Yep, but my mom's from Connecticut, so I spent many summers in Connecticut. Anyone who's grown up in a Southern church knows that it's sort of a full-time thing, 7 days a week type thing, so they find all sorts of ways to entertain you and keep you busy.
Okay, so Bible study on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights.
Yeah, YPWW on Wednesday, choir rehearsal on Thursday, Friday night. Could be like some special missionary thing. Saturday is regular service.
Okay.
Mondays and Saturdays are regular service. Sunday, all day. So.
And you haven't gone to church since, pretty much.
No, you're so funny. Here's what you find out is that what really appealed to me was that I found out that the church was actually the first theater. It's the first form of theater, and if you really think about it, it's still theatrical. I was watching Greenleaf, and my interests are there. It's about theater itself is about inner form brokenness.
Yeah.
And finding a way to heal that. And some people do it that way. I'm not an extremist in that way. So no, I'm very much a believer.
Yeah.
But I'm not
going every Sunday on Monday.
It ain't happening.
Okay.
You kidding me?
So when did you go to Connecticut? Or
I've always been back and forth to Connecticut. My mom's from Connecticut.
Okay.
So I spent all my holidays and summers in Connecticut.
Nice.
Specifically Stamford.
Stanford,
Connecticut.
That's not too far from Bridgeport, where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know Bridgeport.
You know Bridgeport?
Yeah, Father Panic. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Yeah. So you escaped Bridgeport.
I did escape Bridgeport, man. I'm in New York. I'm here, man. I'm here, going strong.
Yeah.
So describe your childhood. So South is very much different from the North.
Yeah, but I had a balance.
Oh, you had a balance.
Yeah, I didn't speak like the. I still don't.
Yeah.
Speak like the traditional Southerner.
Okay.
I don't think like the traditional Southerner. In the same way, I'm a little different from the Northerners here. So I'm sort of, I wouldn't even know how to explain it.
Kind of in limbo a little bit.
No, they're just very specific things I pull from each.
Okay.
And I think that's what makes being in theater, film, TV, in the arts, interesting for me.
Okay.
And interesting to other people, because they don't quite know where to put you.
Okay.
Which is a good thing for me. Because I know exactly what I'm doing at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I know your style. I know exactly what that is, and it's very informative as for actors as well.
Right.
Which means I can direct a Caribbean play because I spend time around Caribbeans. I live in Washington Heights, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? So I can understand. So the transition to photos, which hopefully he's putting up in the fall.
Oh, Photos is by Rafael Moreno. Yeah, for those who don't know, it's
good
a play
dude.
that we did. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Good job too, man.
Oh, thank you.
I know.
Man.
Work on your Spanish though.
I gotta work on it just a little bit.
Work on the Spanish, and you will be called upon to do that. I have a question about you. What was your experience like working on that?
On Photos?
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. Just the process of working on a play that is, new and you're in the room with the playwright, that's always beneficial because you have some kind of you're kind of birthing a character in that way, and then also just working in the signature theater. Theater space.
I know.
How
dope is that? Yeah,
and that's amazing.
Way to go, NEC though.
Yeah, man. NEC.
NEC, that's kind of dope too, right?
NEC, yeah. I work with them pretty often. Karen over there is great. Yeah.
Good.
But so when did you become interested in the arts? What's your earliest memory?
Wow. We've always done skits, not just in church but also school.
Right.
Always been a writer. I'm a writer first.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've written.
Oh, actually, I did, because your play went up at the signature too.
Yeah, my play was there. Things I Heard About Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So I've always been a writer. So we do the skits, and we've always been interested in improv and just making stuff up, just making it up,
Okay.
And as a child, I mean, it hasn't changed. And you know this, most people don't change.
Right.
They get bigger, but they don't really change.
For
so
sure.
It's for me, for college, it was about really doing something sensible. So
Yeah.
English lit it was.
Right.
But I knew the day I was done. Put my degree in my back pocket, and I was gonna go to New York. I was gonna travel and sing, go to Europe, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always sort of known. But remember, I was telling you I have the sort of northern, southern sensibilities about things.
Yeah.
So it's got to make sense, and I know that sometimes acting wasn't going to do that thing.
Right.
Wasn't going to provide bills. But here's the thing about it: I have not had a job
Since coming here.
Yeah. So, and I've been here about 9 years, going on 10 years.
Okay.
So it's like, you do gigs here and there.
Right.
But I really believe, and this is what I'm saying to you, growing up in church has you done that. I really believe that my craft can provide for me.
For sure.
Yeah, and you have to, those are the things that you need to do. Even this morning, I was just meditating on that thing that says I need a shift. I need something to change, and then I need to do something about it. So,
what do you mean by that? You need something.
Meaning I don't want it. I don't want to do a 9 to 5.
Oh yeah.
I'm not interested in that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then when I did, it was teaching theater. But you really have to get up every morning and say, okay, these are the things I understand I have to survive, but I want to be successful. And survival is not the same thing as success.
For sure. So what is success to you? Because it's different for a lot of different people.
It is different. Yeah, you're right. Success for me is, as I said, to make a living, have my craft feed me.
Yes.
Not just, financially as well.
Yeah.
To sit in a room with you guys,
right,
and work on a new script. To go to Bermuda and put together a group of not only write the play but direct it as well.
Right.
And write the music, and to do all these things. I mean, for me, as long as I'm doing that, that's successful. On days when I'm not actually doing it, where I'm getting paid for it, I still work on it. I still write new music. I still write new concepts every day. I still, work out vocally. You know what I'm saying? I'm still doing those things because, as my acting teacher, Barbara Montgomery, would say, you will be called upon to do such and such.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the midst right now of actively working on that. I want my craft to support me. I believe my craft can support me. And so, I find an agent, find a manager. I booking people who book me for speaking engagements. I'm directing a huge musical that'll be in Detroit and DC and a couple of places.
Okay.
I'm also doing a festival in Georgia.
Right.
You do all of these other things you learn, and
work begets work.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So success and survival, two different things.
Okay.
Yeah, but success to me is just doing those things, waking up, I'm happy.
Just doing what you love, kind of thing.
Yeah, even if I'm not being paid for it.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And influences, you say writing first for you? So
I don't know how that happened.
You don't know how that happened?
I don't know how that happened.
August Wilson is a big one for a lot of people. Is that a
huge? Actually, Stephen Adley Gurgis is my favorite.
He's my favorite too,
he's my
man.
favorite.
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
Yeah. Did you read The Last Days of Judas Iscariot?
Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's a hard. I've actually directed that play.
Did you?
Yeah, it's hard to stage in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful piece of writing.
Yeah.
Mother with the hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could speak your mind, man.
I can curse.
You
motherfucker with the hat.
There you go.
But I also love huge fan of August Wilson. I like August Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of I have so many plays in my mind, things. But there's nothing I wanted to do that I haven't done.
Okay.
I love Wilson. Particularly Seven Guitars.
Seven Guitars. That just played in Jersey. Did you see Brandon Darden's?
No, I didn't see that. No.
Oh yeah, he had it going. I think it was last year. Okay. It's a good play though.
It's a great play.
It's definitely a great play. So when did you come to New York? So you started in Stanford. You kind of transitioned from North Carolina to Stanford, and then you eventually made your way to New York.
Yes, actually, I worked with this company out of Connecticut called the Perry Players.
Okay.
It's like 2000, right?
Yeah.
and did 7 guitars there.
Nice.
Just as an actor, I actually also directed Fences.
Fences is a great
The first
one.
time, yeah.
Who'd you play in 7 guitars?
It's Kenwell.
Okay, Gainwell.
You don't know how to kick some collard greens?
Yeah.
Started there, and then what I started doing was making the rounds.
Yeah.
Hook Dot, Yale Rep.
Yeah.
And while I was at Yale Rep, I met some of the most wonderful people.
Lloyd Richards, was he still there?
No, Lloyd was dead at that time.
Okay.
But what we had, who I worked with, was Harold Scott.
Okay.
Harold Scott, well known. And while I was there, another Yale rep cat, Ray Arena,
Okay.
saw the show and he said, "I loved your performance. I'd love for you to come and work with me." That began. He had a company called Prometheus is Fire.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, it's like right away, got my equity card.
Wow.
And I worked with him for 7 years to the last production where he had a stroke.
Yeah.
He was older, but Ray is known for playing Bono in the original Fences.
Wow.
Yeah, so he worked with James Earl Jones, but he was a great guy. Here's the wonderful thing about it. And this is why I totally believe that all things there are no accidents.
Right. For sure.
Ray is a writer,
Mm-hmm.
a director, a producer, and an actor.
Just like you.
And I remember when we were working at Yale Rep, we were working with Avery Brooks,
Okay.
and Avery was saying, "Oh, you're an artist." He just pointed to me and said like that. He said, "So are you guys actors?" And other guys like, "I'm an actor." I was like, "Oh, so no, you're an artist."
To you specifically?
Yeah.
Pointed.
He said, "You're an artist. Tell people you're an artist. That's what you are."
Okay.
And I didn't understand that until I realized something. One night we were sitting down around the piano, and Avery started playing. He's an amazing piano player.
Yeah.
He's also an amazing singer.
Can you sing?
Oh my God.
Okay.
And he can act.
Okay.
And you know what I'm
Triple
saying?
threat.
So he was an amazing guy, and I will never forget that. So the two of them in that production also worked with John Douglas Thompson, who I never, watched. I've never seen anyone do Shakespeare that effortless.
Yeah.
And then there were many others afterwards. Petronia Paley, who I ended up studying with.
Yeah.
Amazing. Johnny Lee Davenport, Roz Ruff, Marie Thomas.
Rosin Ruff. She's still around. I saw her in
She's gonna do Macbeth with Ty Johnson.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw her in the piano lesson.
Yeah.
And she played. Yeah, she's a great actress.
She's
I haven't met her, but
amazing,
she's great.
She's just, but these are some of the, these are really good actors. So
Yeah.
being in that earlier on.
Yeah.
What they won't know too is that I did an internship with NEC. It was with Charles Turner, Susan Turner Watson, and they were trying to do some workshop of some musical.
Yeah.
Like about making it in New York. O.L. Duke was there.
Okay.
So this is like being just around it so early.
Right.
It just influences, and now looking back now, like 15 years later.
Yeah.
Dang, like, and so it all starts to make sense.
Yeah.
But for me, that's what it was. It's like finding out. That's very important. Like, what it is you do.
Yeah.
What it is, how I define myself, and in that sense, an artist puts no restrictions on it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So would you say that an artist versus just an actor is just that there's no restrictions? Is that what an artist is?
I think every and I think Jeffrey Holder. I've not made this up.
Right.
I think he said that every actor should strive to be a director. Every director should strive to be a producer, and so forth and so on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think as an actor, I think you're. It sort of puts you in a position to do any of those things because you may be called upon to do it.
Right.
And now you know how to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, with me, it's all about the training and going back and forth and learning all those things. You can't just say, "Okay, I'm a director," and don't take any classes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or don't go back and learn. You can't be an actor. Of course you can. They do it.
Right.
But you still have to do what you need to do as an actor. You can't be a writer if you don't write.
For sure.
So you can say, "I'm an artist," and then don't do this thing. But sure, you can put acting in that category and still be an artist.
And still be an artist.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you kind of do like these daily habits. You're working on your voice. You're writing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you just kind of categorize them? Like on Monday you do your acting training. On Tuesdays you work on your voice, or is it something you do every day?
I do them all every day.
Every day? For how long?
Well, here's the thing. 2 hours of that day, it's only half hour.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. My vocal exercise is about half hour.
Right.
But I do a little bit more than that because I'm Fitz Morris. So,
Okay.
you know, there's some yoga poses, there's some things you want to work through.
Yeah.
For writing, I walk around writing all day because nobody sits at a typewriter anymore.
Right.
I'll go to my Gmail.
Yeah.
It has lots of memory.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll press the dictate button.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk. And now, as an actor, the actor knows improv, so I'll improv entire scenes. So, to look at if you look in my drafts box in Gmail, you'll see thousands of not just concepts, but thousands of pages of dialogue, and direction, and then the director and me will say, okay, I want to see this a little bit more. Work on the tension in the scene, that type of thing. What is the relationship? So all this stuff goes in. We don't see it. We see it as all 4 different things.
Yeah.
I see it as one thing.
Right.
And that is creating theater, film, TV, creating that thing. And so I walk around all day writing. I walk around all day editing and even directing. I have a couple Pinterest accounts.
Okay.
For me, it's about these images, finding these images. So I'm always, you know what I'm saying, I take about half an hour a day and I'm on Pinterest.
Yeah.
Or I'm looking, you know what I'm saying, or I'm on Google and I'll look at the images. But I'm always looking at those images. As an artist, period,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also walking around with my phone and taking pictures, of things. And these all inform the work that I have to do as an actor, as a director, and
as a writer.
Yeah, definitely as a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, one feeling, you know what I'm saying, can evoke one picture.
Yeah.
Evokes like 3 or 4 films, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So that's very important.
Yeah. So for when I worked with you, you have a very great sense of humor, and you're definitely fun in the rehearsal room. How important is that sense of play and comedy to you?
It's everything.
It's everything.
Neil Simon has this knack. Also, I love Modern Family for that same reason.
Yeah.
They have a knack of really getting to some very serious shit.
Yeah.
Through comedy.
Yeah.
So you got Bella. She's talking about her date with this guy who's sort of mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
And she's just trying to get everybody to sit down. So because in her mind, she's gonna reveal this secret in this perfect way. Everybody's gonna be sitting perfectly like this, and then she'll tell them, "I'm in love. I'm getting married to this guy," right? But it doesn't happen that way because she can't get people to sit down.
Right.
So she can't get past that, and because she's mentally, she has some mental issues as well.
Right.
It becomes this funny thing, and then he does something to us. He flips it.
The writer, you mean?
Yeah, Neil Simon.
Yeah.
Flips it, and then we feel this thing like pulling our hearts out.
Yeah.
Because we were just laughing. This is what we also know, and this is what I teach my kids. I teach in Greenwich. I teach in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Okay. Wow. From Stanford to Greenwich, man.
Yeah.
You want to come?
Yeah. I know.
Right.
And I also direct their show every every year.
Okay.
So I tell the kids the same muscles where you laugh also make you cry.
For sure.
They're all the same muscles. Yeah. And so that's what that becomes. It's almost like, I can get more out of you by getting you to look at the humor of things and then saying, go to the other side of that.
Right.
It's very important, especially when dealing with actors. And this is so true. Everybody says the same thing. It didn't even feel like rehearsing.
When you're rehearsing.
Yeah.
Your time does go by fast working with you. I will say that for sure. What are your favorite kinds of actors to direct?
Wow.
Based on all the people that you've written your plays too, so you understand. What are your favorite kind of actors that are on it for you? That kind of have that stand out to you? What are the qualities or essences for the listeners so they can, and how can they cultivate that if they don't have those already?
I love actors who bring in choices.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be the right choice, but at least have a choice.
Got it.
You know, and sort of know where it's going. I also like actors who realize everything is not important.
Yep. In terms of the lines, or
no, in terms of what you're playing.
Okay, like the arc.
Like every single. There's some people who I see this all the time. I see these actors who count their lines.
Count their lines? I've never seen that.
They count their lines. If there are not enough lines, they probably won't take it. It happens. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
Oh, wow.
It's rare, but they count their lines, and
Yeah.
they know exactly how many lines they have.
Wow. That's
so
funny.
yeah, that's it is. I mean, different systems. And so what they'll do is they give weight to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And that's hard to watch. That's hard to watch because if everything's important, then nothing's important. Correct?
Right.
But you know, you have to have that sense. Also, I love actors who know the genre that they're coming to play, and then flip it.
So they're playing like kind of the difference or
they
opposites.
They go in another direction.
Okay.
But that has to do with choices as well.
Okay.
I also, here's the other thing too. I'm a reader for different theater companies.
Yeah.
So to be in the audition room with other actors teaches you a lot about not only directing but you as an actor.
Right.
So it's like this is what you don't do
In an audition
in
setting?
an audition setting. Yeah.
Okay.
It's I think every actor should be a reader.
Yeah.
For other auditions, and it's easily done. Most companies are coming into New York to get actors.
Yeah.
This is just how it is. You want the best actors, you come to New York. Reach out to them, say I'm interested in being a reader. Sometimes it doesn't pay anything. Sometimes they do pay.
Right.
But
how would you reach out? Because sometimes something that a lot of actors say is that, oh, they don't want drop-offs, they don't want submissions. Do you email them? Do you call them? How do you do that?
Even you can get the most likely it's probably the business office.
Okay.
So any company.
Right.
Just saying, hey, hi, my name is Lawrence Floyd. I'm an actor. I'm interested in being a monitor or a reader for you. You know what I mean? I'm in New York. So if you need someone, contact me. And most of them, for me, it's like now I'm with the same companies all over and over and over again.
Right.
And I make out those days. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, okay, I won't book work that day or I won't do something because I can learn so much by being in the room, and I can learn so much about you by just being your reader.
Right. Like if you listen and all that.
I know the actors who make good choices.
Yeah.
And then when someone is looking, and this happens all the time, someone's always looking for an actor, and so they're always like hitting me up for an actor. I'm always like hitting my casting agent friends up, and because I've been in those situations with them.
Yeah.
Then I know. Think about how for photos.
Yeah.
I worked with Kristen. I didn't know any of those guys.
Kristen
Cato at Intar.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
she's a good actor.
Yeah.
Man. And so I said in the back of my mind, work on her. I said I want to work with this girl.
Yeah.
She's good, and I told her so. And I do that a lot with other actors. So even if I can't work with them, I can recommend them, and I can recommend them because I've either worked with them or I've been in the room with them where they've auditioned.
Right.
And it's a great way. It teaches you so much. And sometimes I've even gotten a job. It's like, listen, are you interested? Are you available? Did you wanna? It's like you don't need to audition. It's like I watch you read, and I like what you're doing. They're like, would you like it? And I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I, take a job, So
that's cool.
So another way to get a job, bro.
Another way, man.
And then they may have you in mind for something if they're casting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like so.
What's the biggest piece of advice you would give to the listeners for what not to do in an audition room and what to do? It's often said that casting directors know within the first 5 seconds of you walking in the room whether or not you've gotten a job. So do you walk in, there's that fine line, right, of walking in like confident, like I'm about to own this, versus cocky and arrogant. Yeah. So you're coming into somebody else's space, so you can't walk into somebody's house and put your feet up on the desk. You don't want to get that comfortable.
No.
So what's the biggest piece of advice you would give listeners for walking into the audition room? Do they dress the part exactly? How far do they go? What's the balance?
It depends. If you are an inside-out person or outside-in person,
right?
Well, let's start with outside-in. If you're an outside-in person and that works for you, then do it.
Right.
If you're not quite comfortable, if it throws you off a little bit, then don't do it. But I will say this: sometimes, oh God, I don't want to get in trouble by saying this. Sometimes you can help the imagination by just doing a little bit of homework. Maybe dressing the part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, especially if you go, because sometimes it can work against you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it works for you if you just walk in as yourself.
As yourself.
As the actor.
Wow.
You know, jump in, say hi, get ready, calm yourself, and understand that you want to be the nice guy.
Yeah.
But it ain't about them. Those 5 minutes, whatever you have,
is
about you.
For sure.
And the mistake that a lot of people make is that they make it about the people who are in the room.
Right.
Not knowing that they want to see how you work.
Yeah.
They want to see what you do on your own. You know, is it somebody that I can work with? And of course, a lot of it has to do with, you know what I'm saying, if the person's likable or not.
For sure.
Do they look the role?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How personable they are.
Mm-hmm.
But more than that, they want to see how you work. It's your time. And I think that's the people who do that.
Are the people that are working.
Are the people who are working.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have that. It's an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like as nice as I can be.
Yeah.
You know, come in, hey, joking and all that. That ain't gonna give me a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an interview one time where this guy just came in. It's for like Walter Lee, and he talked and said, "Oh my God, you know all these people." You know, he's looking at the resume because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They read the resume. Trust me.
Yeah.
They read it. When you leave the room, they're marking out immediately. Anybody who's ever auditioned for Woody knows this. Woody King.
Yeah, Woody King. Yeah,
knows that. Oh, they read that resume.
Wow.
And they're just studying your special abilities. They're looking at all that stuff.
Okay.
And so you can walk in and know people. And so he knew all these people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Long conversation. It was like 20 minutes, 20-minute conversation, right? Blah, 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 blah. It was more of an interview than an audition. And then I had to get up from the audition. I said, damn, he threw me off.
Yeah. Yep.
He threw me off, and talking 20 minutes about everybody we knew we had in common, and I didn't get the job.
Yeah.
So now what I do is I come in, you know, they want to talk, and then let me get this out of the way first.
Right.
Because maybe this will give you something to talk about.
Okay.
Maybe we'll really have something to talk about. So yeah. So be yourself.
Yeah.
Have fun. Do the work you prepared.
Yeah.
But also be the type of person that if they give you an adjustment, say, I love that you gave me that adjustment. Mentally. Say, I love that you gave me an adjustment. And if you like this, what do you see this?
Got it.
You know what I mean? And really listen to the adjustment. Don't just jump in. Listen, digest it, and then go back into the adjustment. Always take that time. That time is your time. People don't realize that. It is your time, you know? You're not getting paid to be there.
For sure. You're right.
You know?
That's half your job as an actor too, are auditions.
Yeah.
You're auditioning for the majority of your career, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't think that ever ends. So for what do you wish actors knew in the rehearsal room? Now we're going from auditioning to actually booking the job, and you're actually working with a director. For you, as director, what do you wish that actors knew about directors, or what do you wish actors knew about working well with directors? I would say.
What I think most of you guys get it. It really is a behavior. It really is about behavior for the actor and for the character.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk specifically about the actor.
For sure.
What we really want to know is how you function. Is this person hot-headed? You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get there are all these different styles of acting.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way to get get through to this person?
Mm-hmm.
Can he take the adjustment? What I wish actors knew a lot of times is that most directors you're working with used to be actors.
Wow.
So it's almost like working with another actor. You know what I mean? That we don't want to embarrass you, and we want you to look the best you can.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you go out and do something that we said you shouldn't do, and you look stupid, that there are critics who are going to get your ass.
For sure.
So do the work, try to stay consistent. Here's the other thing that I think. Some people are what you call in the moment actors, which means that it's not real until performance time. Which means that so they're a little lazy, a little withdrawn in the rehearsal period.
Right.
We want you to give it all there.
That's something you pointed out to me for photos.
Oh, what was that? I'm curious.
I was kind of like I wasn't withdrawn, but in the rehearsal room, I was saving my energy. And then when we actually got to the performance stage, that's when I let it out.
And what we want you to do is to rehearsal, rehear, over and over again. Those are the times. That's when you want to experiment.
Right.
Not in front of a paying audience. Sometimes you can do it.
Right.
Some people need that adrenaline. But imagine if you're brilliant.
Yeah.
When you decide to turn on, what happens? How much hotter will you be if you turn on in rehearsal?
For sure. You're right.
You know what I mean? So take those chances. And here's the thing about it: you don't become just LeBron, where blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You become Jordan,
Yep.
where you get. You know what I'm saying? There's more when you get your team involved.
For sure.
So if this is what I've heard about Jordan. Like he plays just as hard in practice as he does for the game. It's like we're not making this up. You know what I'm saying? We're not waiting for momentum to kick in, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm prepared. I'm here, bro. Here's what I got. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna say it to you this way. I'm gonna find a million ways. I'm gonna get on your nerves. We're gonna find the most tension. We're gonna work our asses off in this rehearsal.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go kill them on stage.
Right.
So I'm going to I only need 75, but in rehearsals I'm going to give 100 because I may have to come back to 75 for the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to know. And then what it does is the next time you may need 100 and you don't know how to get there.
You're right.
Because you've been practicing at 40 and 50, sometimes 10.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad I pointed it out to you. I didn't.
You didn't
say that would apply to you, but you know.
Well, no. I mean, it was just that it was anyway. So
Aaron's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. Obsidian Media Group. Mm-hmm. What's that about? Where did the inspiration come from? Talk more to us about that.
Obsidian was actually a collaboration. Obsidian itself is a dark volcanic glass.
Yeah.
That's reflective. It's dark. It's black.
Yeah.
But it also has a mirror-like quality, so it's reflective. So when you look into Obsidian, it's you looking back.
Right.
You know, you looking at you. And what we want to do is it's all about new works.
Okay.
Creating new works and new collaborations that hopefully will give people jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what I really want to do is work on new stuff. So what we do is develop TV, film. It's of course media and theater, new stuff, and that's what we do. That's exactly what we do.
What's the last thing that you guys created?
Oh, we're still creating.
Oh, you're still creating? Okay.
I have. Oh Lord, we're selling reality shows. So I have.
You're doing reality shows? I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna.
No, don't judge. Listen. I can't. I don't really like them either.
Yeah.
But it's it's a means to an end.
Yeah. You're right.
You know, so it's like. I believe we were looking at there's something we were trying to shop to Lifetime.
Yeah.
And of course they passed on it.
Yeah.
But they welcomed the opportunity to work on some other stuff. So now we got some other things, and more than that, I'm going to be working down in Atlanta and out of different places. So we're there in Atlanta, and we have talk shows and original series and something sort of like Greenleaf.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not in them. Don't get me wrong, but if that's what the market calls for, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's all new stuff, and it's also putting us showing us in a different light.
Yeah.
More diverse. You know what I mean? So.
How long have you guys been around?
Oh Lord, 2006, 2007.
Okay, so about 9 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the mission and vision? Just creating new works, giving people opportunities?
It really is about, when we say Obsidian,
yeah.
it's about being reflective, showing works that show, and what I mean by people, I mean anyone can look into Obsidian.
Right.
And get that reflection back. but the world is not. This is not, and don't. This is the Southern Larry talking.
Okay.
But the world is not all white.
Right.
I think it needs to reflect Latino, Asian, everything else. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's what we wanted to do. So we sort of wanted to balance it a little bit more.
Okay.
Which is why I decided to do it. You know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just me. It was a bunch of us.
Okay.
And there still are. You know what I'm saying? So I choose who I want to work with, like every year, every 2 years.
Okay.
And this year just happens to be not theater, but film and TV.
Okay, and how do people reach out to you if they want an opportunity on that?
Hit me on Facebook. I'm all the time recommending people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind. You know, so I will. If you need a recommendation, you need whatever that is. You need.
Okay.
I'm about that. It's about community. Hit me up on Facebook, Lawrence Floyd.
And how do you spell that for them?
LAWRENCEFLOYD. Like
Lawrence
Lloyd.
Floyd. Like Lloyd, yes.
Yeah.
Except Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd's an August Wilson character too, I think.
Oh yeah.
He is.
And 7 guitars.
And 7 guitars.
Yeah.
Look at that, man.
Oh, boy.
No accidents.
Nah.
So it's important for artists to create their own work, right? So what would you say about that, artists creating their own work? How important is that to an artist?
It's vital.
Yeah.
Is everyone always going to support it? No. But everyone is also won't share in what you get from it.
Yeah.
Meaning, not to go biblical on you, but we often hear the story of David, King David, who killed Goliath.
Yeah.
What you don't realize is that David was doing all this stuff in obscurity first.
Yeah.
Like we know that he probably killed a lion, he killed a bear.
Yeah.
And because he had already had some, experience doing that, he also, when it came time for him to get to the lion part, to get to the bear part, I'm pretty sure that he understood that, hey, these are going to serve me somehow, maybe.
Yeah.
In obscurity. Nobody needs to know.
Right.
So I'm hearing my lion and bear part, and then sure enough, this big giant comes up.
Yeah.
And he's able to do it with nothing in his hands, but you know what I mean? Some slingshot and some rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very important. You have to.
And what are the steps for an artist to do that? What if they're feeling doubtful? A lot of people want to create their own work, but they don't know how, or they don't have the resources, or they have this. But there's tons of examples, you being one of them, of pulling the resources, of finding the way to get it done, of trusting and believing in yourself to create something that is special. And even if it falls flat in its face, how do people get over that hurdle of fear of failure, or sometimes fear of success? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what would you say are the steps, or like, how would somebody create their own work? Who can they reach out to? What resources? Are there any online resources, any books, anything like that?
In New York, you can find, there are free acting classes. There are free writing workshops.
Yeah.
You can do all those things. But I want to, in terms of that, there's going to come a time when you've had enough. Mm-hmm. You're gonna wake up, and you're gonna hate going to that 9 to 5 so much. You're gonna hate, dealing with certain people. Even sometimes I with me, I had to get to that point as well. It's like, even this morning I woke up and I said, oh, I could be doing so much more. Mm-hmm. And then the people around me don't seem to understand, to really know me.
Yeah.
Or what I need, and aren't able to support me in that way. Right. Because they don't know. But my heart itself is saying it's too much.
To be stagnant, you mean?
To be yeah. It's I don't want to die.
Right.
And not use what I've been given.
For sure.
I don't want to regret. Not giving 100%, not being committed. Yeah. And there's going to come a time in your life where that is going to happen. Right. So you might as well just find a way. And this is the thing. Once you go searching for a way to create anything that you want, whether it's a short film or do a reading or whatever that is, once you know how to do this stuff, you can never unknow it again. Right. So the thing to do is, if you don't know, to try and find out. I tell my students, I said, do you know that very uncomfortable feeling you have? that is a sign that you're in the right place.
Yeah.
When you are not sure, I don't know what I should be doing, go. Use it. You can't think yourself out of it. That's the right place to start.
Yeah.
Because at the end, you really don't want those regrets, and you have to be desperate. You know, and you always hear that. I'm doing an adaptation by, I won't name because they ain't paid me yet. An adaptation, and he uses the story about the guy who wanted, to be successful, and you know the story.
Yeah.
So he says, okay, fine, meet me at the beach.
Yeah.
Go to the beach. And the guy said, you want to be successful? And he's like, yeah. He said, come walk a little down. So he's walking down. Then it's first his waist is covered. Then his chest. Then he's all the way down. And the guy holds him down in the water. And he's like fighting for his life, right? And he pulls him up and said, what are you doing, right?
Yeah.
He said, what were you thinking about the whole time you were there?
Breathing.
About breathing. And he said, when you want to be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll find success.
Right.
And that is exactly right.
Yeah.
Sometimes people look for purpose.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that when you do things to survive,
yeah,
it takes away your passion, which takes away your need to find purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that it'll take you as they would say, take away your want to.
Right.
Like, so you don't really want to. And that's dangerous. That's a very dangerous thing. But there's going to come a day when you're going to say, after all these years of not doing it,
yeah,
all these years of not trying, where you're going to hurt so bad and want to do it and resolve it, that you are going to find a way to get it done. So you might as well go ahead and find your want to, find your passion, find that purpose, and do it anyways. No matter how bad it is, no matter how uncomfortable it is, do it in obscurity.
Yeah.
A monologue is a monologue. I don't need an audience to do a monologue.
Sure.
Go in the bathroom, sit on the stool, and run your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't that deep, So it's vital. You need to be as desperate and as passionate to find your purpose. And you don't want that day to come.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, damn, I wish I. And then we're seeing it more. Aren't you seeing more of your colleagues on TV? It's
true. A lot, yeah. You're right.
And you can be just as talented as they are.
True.
So you don't want that to happen. Like, man, it could have been me.
Yeah.
That
what if is that hurts, man.
If is a powerful word, isn't it?
It is.
It is very, and I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what others think. What do I think about me?
Right.
And here's the other thing. Why do you care so much about what others think about what's in your heart?
Amen.
You need validation. Validation itself is a trap.
For sure. I agree. I totally agree.
So you keep raising the stakes, and I got to keep doing more and more and more, and then after a while it becomes impossible to please you.
Yeah.
Yet I'm still seeking something that's infinitesimal.
Yeah.
And almost impossible. So no, I don't have to convince you what's in my heart.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that's that passion. Don't let them kill your passion.
Right.
Don't, you know what I'm saying? So discover it, and one day, if you're lucky, it's gonna hit you, and you're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
So you might as well do it 10, 15 years earlier.
Yeah.
While you can still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do this with a cane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
although James Earl Jones, man, he's still doing it.
He's been doing it
for years. You're right.
Yeah, he's still doing it. That's what I'm saying to you. And James Earl Jones is the exception.
Yeah.
True.
So what's on your heart still? Like, what hopes or dreams do you still have? You're working on something in Georgia. You're doing some other things in Detroit. You said it earlier.
Yeah.
So you're doing that now. What do you hope to do? What do you aspire to do? Who do you want to touch? What kinds of works do you want to do?
I'm doing exactly what I wanted to. I know it sounds weird. I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
We talked about a system put in place where you do these things every single day.
Yeah.
I'm very conscious because I'm a large thinker.
Yeah.
And a bit of a polymath. I know a lot about.
Yeah.
No, I know a lot about a lot.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, there's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you call it? Jack of all trades?
Yeah.
Not me. I'm going to study it until I get it right, and so much so that I can teach it.
Right.
So I'm pretty good at it, and I was just doing that this weekend. So I'm always consulting producers. I'm also always consulting not necessarily directors, but actors, and you know what I'm saying, in all these categories.
Yeah.
I'm doing exactly what I need to do. Where I'm going next is I want to create a couple of shows.
Okay.
And I'm very close to getting that, so I'm not worried about that. The key to that is finding the financing.
Right.
And you're never going to convince anyone to give you money.
Yep.
Without showing them that here's what you get back.
Right.
You know, it's a bilateral thing. I give you this, you give me that. You know what I'm saying? And we'll work it out. And I'll fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I made it tell you, literally getting off the train.
Yeah.
I just brokered a deal.
Yeah.
I'm doing exactly what I need to do.
Cool.
There's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have a Kickstarter or anything like that you can start? Maybe people could support it that are listening.
I have we have an Indiegogo, but don't forget in December we went profit.
Okay.
So we were non-profit for all these years.
Yeah.
And then we're for-profit, or as we call it, commercial.
Right.
So we switched. You know, that phase with Obsidian Media Group is over. We're going now for networks, and we're going for some for profit.
Okay, go ahead, man. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Where can people contact you, man?
I'm telling you, hit me up on Facebook. It is that simple.
You don't have an email address?
I do. I can give you an email address.
What's
It's
your email?
obsidianmediagroup@gmail.com.
Obsidian. Some people might not know how to spell that.
Yeah, I can't spell. No, I'm joking. I get it. obsidianmediagroup@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Lawrence Floyd.
Yes.
In the building. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's go, man. That's it for this episode of The Creation Grounds. I'm your host, Aaron Lloyd. Be sure to check out our Instagram for future and previous guest info, and check out our YouTube channel in the show notes below. Email us with any suggestions at thecreationgrounds@gmail.com. And if you got something out of this, I'd really appreciate if you spread the word and the love. Until next time, this is Aaron Lloyd telling you that the sky is the limit. Stay creative.